Yeah, alright. He's so real to me. My job is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always near. Oh, Jah, he everywhere. My job is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always there. Oh, Jah, he everywhere. Say from the righteous path, I really try not to drift. Try not to be misled by illusions and myths from them Babylon dirty system we have to drift. Try to captivate my mind with tricks and gimmicks. Them try to send Jah dead and we know nothing no go so. Them heaven in the sky and we know. Them a tell pure lie. Yes, that's how we go. The innocent are die and I see him, so we go. So why in this beautiful earth they fight a war? Is it Jah position that they are fighting for? Or is it that them want with me a buckle pan a shelf? A raps and kusha play the song, you know, and nothing else. My Jah is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always here. Oh, Jah, he everywhere.
It's called Jah is Real, ladies and gentlemen. It's J. Will, the Raps and Kush Band.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
Alright.
Tell your friends to tell their friends. In store for something dope this evening, alright? Jah is Real. Album's called Love Your Life. Got some things to talk about. One love, baby.
He's so real.
One love.
To me.
One love.
My Jah is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always near. Oh, Jah, he everywhere. My Jah is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always there. Oh, Jah, he everywhere. Say from the righteous path, I really try not to drift. Try not to be misled by illusions and myths from them Babylon dirty system we have to drift. Try to captivate my mind with tricks and gimmicks. Them try to send Jah dead and we know nothing no go so. Them heaven in the sky and we know. Them a tell pure lie. Yes, that's how we go. The innocent are die and I see him, so we go. So why in this beautiful earth they fight a war? Is it Jah position that they are fighting for? Or is it that them want with me a buckle pan a shelf? A raps and kusha play the song, you know, and nothing else. My Jah is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always here. Oh, Jah, he everywhere. My Jah is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always there. Oh, Jah, he everywhere. If by the laws of nature, not the laws of man. And in this world I try not to be judgmental, unconditional. Love it is fundamental, the reign of Jah. Yes, it is perpetual. There is no place for the just in your society. Your empire.
So Lonnie, what's going on? Hey Charlene.
Them trust who them, that is another story. Try to mix up the words with them funny money. True world to me that really means good health. Like the wax in front the fire, so the wicked will come out. So on your knees, Babylon, I say bow down and repent and now. Oh Jah, he's omnipotent. My Jah is free, be judgmental, unconditional. Love it is fundamental, the reign of Jah. Yes, it is perpetual. There is no place for the just in your society. Your empires were built on the blood of slavery. God them trust who them that is another story. Try to mix up your words with them funny money. True world to me that really means good health. Like the wax in front the fire, so the wicked are come melt. So on your knees, Babylon I say bow down and repent. And now Jah is omnipotent.
Elijah Parley, great to see you. Great to see you.
Is real, and I can feel him in this air I breathe. He's always there. Oh, Jah, you're everywhere. My Jah is real.
It's been a minute for real, not sure. Always good to see you, man.
He's always
Wagwan Paul. Blessings, Sir David. What's going on, fam? Roman, as always, where you at? Where in the world are you? I know you all over the place. I love it, bro. Much blessings to you. Yeah, man. Fantabulous, Paul. Trust me. Jano.
Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. Oh, when I need it, like I need it. Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. Whenever things get tough, whenever things get hot, I pull out Moses and head up to the mountains. I fall up on my knees and then I pray non-stop. I send my blessings up, you let your blessings.
I know, David, I appreciate it.
What I've always seen, my granny always do. And she taught to me, I'ma teach to mine, my little kings and queens. Whoa, when I'm feeling like I'm feeling.
Thank y'all so much for the birthday wishes. David, give thanks. I want to hit different. Now, I mean, this earth's trying to hit a little different, man. Just a little different.
Whoa, yeah. When I'm feeling like I'm feeling, Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. When I need him like I need him, Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. When I'm feeling like I'm feeling, Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. When I need him like I need him, Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. Whenever things get tough, whenever things get hot, I pull out Moses and head up to the mountains. I fall up on my knees and then I pray non-stop. I send my blessings up, you let your blessings dry. That's what I've always done, what I've always seen, my granny always do. And she taught to me, I'ma teach to mine, my little kings and queens. Whoa, when me down. Oh no, when I need him, like I need him. Jaja, you never yet let me down.
Lodge up Dino.
I say you never.
Greetings fam, greetings fam, greetings fam.
Another day goes by, another plot revealed. One man a planting farm, one a rob and steal. One have a hard love story, said he needs a meal. Need to feed him kids, correct and know him feel like just giving it up because his faith is sealed. But never place your bets before the deal a deal. You know the hottest fire makes the hardest steel. Like I'm feeling. Jaja, you never yet let me down. I say you never yet let me down. Oh no, when I need him, like I need him.
Jano, Jano.
I say you never.
For real, Polly, for real, for real, for real.
Even if I'm breaking inside, he forsake with me never. No, 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 no. My faith is stronger than pride. Jah is with me forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever.
Blessings, Tony Karawagwan fam.
Forever.
It is indeed a pleasure to see you.
Forever. When I need him, like I need him. Jaja, you never yet let me down. Oh no. I say you never yet let me down. Oh no. When I'm feeling like I'm feeling. Jaja, you never yet let me down. Oh no. I say you never yet let me down. When I need him, like I need him. Jaja, you never yet let me down. No. I say you never yet let me down. No. Yeah, man, never you walk this walk and try to trot this path by your fellow seats. Blessed are those that walk in the way of the Almighty. Let him clear that road.
Lodge up UK fam, thank you so much.
Jack.
Paul, have a great night, my brother.
And his love endure
A
forever.
blessed night.
Call upon his name,
Yeah, man.
and it shall be granted unto you. When I'm feeling, you don't let me down. Never, never you let me down. This is Wayne Warner saying J. Cole, legal businessman. Bang, bang, boom.
I mean say this a protege, eh? Homegrown with G Cola, what you say, eh? We make them know what reggae music we a play, eh? Hey, this is Protege, the one and only representing for G Cole, you know. Check it, he's out.
And we said them not got no style like we. G Cole, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, nor wild like we. Accurate, Kabaka Pyramid representing for the #1 selector and radio house. It's all about G Cole, keep it locked. Accurate.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Kali. I'm hanging out with your boy G Cole on the Homegrown Show.
Yes. Welcome one and all. It is Homegrown with G Cole coming to the Massive Crew live across the globe. Gotta big up everybody listening in from near and far. Radio land, what up? What up? Polly Wagwan, good to see you. Good to see you. I gotta big up again everybody, man. First of all, let me take a hot minute. Let's take a second to say I tried responding and generally I try to do this, you know, in real time, but it's borderline impossible because of all the love. Thank you so much. Yesterday was my birthday, my Earth Strong. Yesterday that birthday felt a little different. I'm not gonna lie, but let me say thank you all so much for all the birthday love. David I, Sir Tony Carr, everybody. You know what I mean? Those people who hit me up on social media, those people who send me the WhatsApp messages, the phone calls, the texts. You know what I mean? Instagram, all over. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, these are the times of, you know, paying attention to self and what's going on, and I know, you know, taking that minute to send a message and, you know, one of those little gifts and emojis and whatever the case may be. Trust me, it's time. It's time. And the thoughts, it means a lot. It means a lot. You know what I mean? Taking the time out to express some love to somebody that sometimes I haven't seen you in person in a long time. Yes, we see each other on social media, but probably haven't seen in person in a long time. And also for those people who, some people you have never met in person, but there's a connection that we've established, and the genuine love, I appreciate it. Hit the big 4 or 5, and I don't know, there's just something about this one that, and it ain't a midlife crisis. Maybe I could use that as an excuse to go get that R8, the red. You know what I mean? The red R8. Maybe I could do that. You know what I mean? I could play midlife crisis. You know, I say, yo, let me go get that one, right? But nah. But I'll say this. Thanks again. It means a lot. You know, having conversations, saying to people, you know what I mean, just getting older, hopefully getting wiser. It's a beautiful thing. Especially when you think of those who don't get an opportunity to grow old. We send a lot of condolences out, and of course, you know, just reminded here by Polly, you know, we've lost some folks, you know, a lot of artists, a lot of public figures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Nerf Joseph just lost, and more. But I also want to implore people to take the time to acknowledge the people who are not the celebrities, you know, the people who have impacted our lives in ways other than fanfare and other than, because a lot of times it's not even just the music that we appreciate from people, where we so-called mourn the loss, you know, it's just the celebrity, you know, and the popularity. There was a young lady that was on the program early last year, had her on, interviewed her, and somebody I know personally. Her name is Janelle Reynolds, right? And she had a book, you know, a memoir of a wounded survivor. You know, she went through a lot. And when I say a lot, I'm talking about somebody who's lost, in a space of a short time, her twin brother, her father, and then years later, her mother, right? So that's a lot. That's a lot for anybody. And she's, you know, she dealt with lupus and a whole bunch of other stuff, and lost her a couple days ago. So my sincere thoughts and prayers, love goes out to her family, her brother. You know what I mean? It ain't easy, man. I've lost my mom, and I did lose my brother too. And my mom, when I lost my mom, I felt like the world was crashing down and it could get no more abysmal, and despair was just at its greatest until I lost my brother. It's a different thing to lose a sibling. Trust me, until I say it's a different thing. Mama is your mama. You get only one of those, and trust me, when you lose your mom, it's like, whew, the wind get knocked out of you. You know what I mean? The ceiling's gone. The floor beneath your feet's gone when you lose mom, because there's something that connects us to our moms. But losing a sibling ain't no joke, right? Losing a sibling ain't no joke. So again, rest in peace, Janelle. Hit up the YouTube channel later on if you haven't seen that episode. Homegrown G Cole on YouTube. Hit it up. I'm gonna take a look. What up, Hope? How are you? You know, yeah, man, I'm a cancer guy, and I mean, I'm the crab. It's our season. July is our season. We're taking over. We're taking a whole month, and we're having a blast with it. You know what I mean? So, Teresa, how are you? Great to see you. Great to see you. Great to see you. So here's the dealie. I was gonna have a guest in studio today, and we changed directions. I thought, you know, with what's going on, sometimes I like having this open forum to converse with y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of times, you know, don't get me wrong, love having my guest in studio, you know, and tackling the different, you know, stuff that need to be tackled, and speaking about the different things that need to be spoken about, and just all the different things out there. But there's something reverent about just you and I. You know what I mean? Just you and me, right? So, about, I'd say less than a year ago. I mean, for years there's been rumbling. Not you, Ed. For the past couple of years, there's been rumblings about a couple of films that were supposed to come out. A couple of films. One of which was the Bob Marley film, right? See that, David, you're the online guest tonight, and I love y'all, man. You're right here with me, loving the energy and the whole vibe. I'm just saying. You see, man, you see how Kim now, Jano, you know. Sometimes she just like give it to me, you know. Wagwan, my friend. What up? Love you. Wagwan. No, Polly, I cannot make mango moonshine. You know what I mean? But now that you mentioned it, I might hide on the quiet. I try. You never know. I've been having a fantastic mango season. All right, for a guy that doesn't have that don't own my mango tree, I've had an abundance of mango. In where I live, there's probably 30 mango trees, man, between on my route there. And fortunately, a lot of people are generous with the bounty, you know. And some of them are just in places where you can just partake of it, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I have my mango wars, so I trust me, I be posting and tagging. You know yourself who getting the tags, right? And I love you, man. Big up yourself, Frank, too, you know. Big up. And listen, it's been a good year. Let's just say that. That's why I always sit back and say I'm grateful to the Almighty, you know, for all the bounty. And I just love nature. Nature's around me. We got the flora, the fauna, the water. We got the fruits and all that stuff. And mango season's almost in the rear view right now. But then the naseberries are out there doing their thing. And of course, you don't know. What is it? 30%. What you say? Mango wars are rage, man. Mango wars are rage. And I got some pineapples. I planted pineapples. I planted like 4. I think we're going to go for about probably 8 or 9 this year. Because for those people who know, pineapple take long for growing up. Pineapple be taking a year to yield the fruit, right? But when you get a pineapple from your garden in adverse to a pineapple that you got from the supermarket, remember, some people misconstrue. And that's some people, I mean, especially people who are not from the islands who deal with nature and all them things. But a lot of people misconstrue ripening with yellowing, right? The process of a fruit is it's going to go from green to ripe, which is yellow, to rot, right? It's just what it is. But it can either go from green to ripe to rot or green to yellow to rot. And what the difference is this. In order to have all the nutrients and give you the fruit the way it's supposed to be, it has to spend a certain amount of time on the tree. You can't get around it, right? But unfortunately, and I understand it's not beating the system, but unfortunately, when you live in somewhere like the U.S. that's so big and a place that a lot of the fruit too don't even come from here, right? The tropical fruit don't come from here. They have to pick them when they're green, and then they ship them here, and sometimes just partially above green, right? And then they ship them here, and when they do so, it comes in the supermarket, and we get the best. We take what we can get, right? And then it yellows. It doesn't necessarily ripen, you know, or it ripens to as much as it can, but then it yellows. So that's the reason why when you get a fruit in the supermarket, you take it home and so-called ripen, you know what I mean? As a pineapple, a midget. I like my midget pineapple. Best pineapple I've ever had. Best. But with those pineapples and the other fruit, when you get them and you taste them, you can taste a complete difference night and day from the one you got in the store. No indictment on the store, because if I ain't got it in the garden and I need it, I'm going to get it from the store too. You know what I mean? But I manage my expectations knowing that I'm not going to get what I'm going to get from the garden. So I'm grateful for my garden. I'm grateful for the gift of all that from the Almighty. Man, I talk about avocado seasons around the corner. I can already see, trust me, I'm going to have some dope avocados. You don't know. And you know, so I'm not stop posting my thing on tag, no. You know who you are, right? So we got the naseberry coming through. Got my tomatoes, you know what I mean? I got my okra. I'm just getting my farm on, man. Get my agriculture. I'm trying to live off the land as much as I can. You know, it's going to take some years for the breadfruit tree and the ackee tree, but they're in the backyard growing, the Otaheite apple tree, they're in the backyard growing. They're going to take some time, but I'm going to wait patiently. You know what I mean? Patiently. And that saltfish tree, too. I'm telling my daughter, I said, I'm not dead till them beer, you know. I ain't getting up out of here till them beer, because if me dead before them beer, me dopey, I go in that tree, I go on bud every time she try to pick one of them. Every time she try to pick a ackee, me I go in there and move the ackee. Right? Me dopey, I go on bud. Right? But we just have to give thanks, all right? So again, all those people dealing with loss, my condolences, thought, and places. Sydney, you'll address me later. Oh, you'll get my address later? I got you. Got a couple of folks say, yo, package your thing and ship it in the mail. You know, sending somebody, and for those people who have to deal with this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The idea and the concept of sending something to someone is dope. And I always think of it. You know what I mean? Here's your suckling off a selfish tree. We got you, David. Got you. The concept and the idea of packaging some fruit and sending it to somebody is great, especially if I can get it where it's not overly ripe, right? Because you want to get it when it's just like we just mentioned, the shipping situation. You want to get it, well, it's not green, of course, but you don't want to get it overly ripe, because believe me, when you wrap that up, package it up how you package it up, and close that box up and ship it. And it takes 2 days or however long it takes to get there. By the time it gets there, it's gonna be, you have to go eat it that day or it's done, right? So it's a little bit of a thing to go ship the fruit. But to be honest with you, the most challenging part about it is going to the post office or going to FedEx or going to UPS. It's just something that I don't enjoy doing, and I haven't done in a hot minute. Sometimes I have CDs and stuff I got to send out to folks, and I feel so bad to keep them waiting because I got to wait until I have a whole bunch of stuff to go to the post office and send out, because just going to the post office is not something I look forward to. You know what I mean? But I got y'all covered, all right? So avocados are around the corner. Naseberry trees looking quite sexy, you know what I mean? Gonna get some more peanuts in a minute. I got 1 tomato, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good, right? I got my okras are doing what they do, and I got a couple of avocado trees Otahiti apple trees on the way. So I can gift for those people, especially in the South Florida area where you have the weather that's conducive to growing that kind of a plant. May have some Otahiti. I may have the real deal, because here's where you're gonna be better off than I am, right? I got an Otahiti apple tree from my granduncle, and his apples are kind of not the biggest apples. But then I was in Costa Rica, and they had the real deal, just like we had in Jamaica, the big vibes them, you know what I mean? The big vibes. And somehow, you know what I mean, I was able to ship the seeds in, you know what I mean? And plant them in my raised bed. And they're coming up right now. So truthfully, the smaller ones that I got coming up right now, I kind of really am more excited about than the big one. It's just something in my spirit won't let me get rid of the big one because it's already big. I'm going to say I have a couple years less to wait on that one. But who knows, I might just plant 2. But I told my wife it's time for me to stop planting right now, because then my backyard, when they all get huge, I'm going to live in a wilderness. You know what I mean? From breadfruit to ackee to avocado to, it's going to be a bit much. But guess what? I got y'all. So when it comes to fruit time, me have no David, me don't know where I talk about. I have no idea. I don't know what that word means. I don't know nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I snuggle. I don't smuggle. I snuggle. I don't smuggle. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, about a year ago, the rumblings started coming out that, okay, the Bob Marley film was greenlit and it was a go, right? And then everybody started talking about, okay, who's going to be cast as Bob and Rita and all those folks. And fast forward, because the rumblings was, you know, we already knew they were searching for named actors. And of course, a lot of, if you're looking for named actors, again, we're not talking about just talent, named actors, then you might have to look outside of Jamaica, right? Some of the best actors to date come from the UK. A lot of actors that are playing American parts and all kind of other parts, you know, it's not until you see them doing press and stuff like that you realize that they're British, right? So, in keeping with that line of tradition, it seems, they went and got a British actor to play Bob, right? And they also got Lashana Lynch to play Rita, right? And the uproar began, right? The uproar began immediately thereafter, all right? So, because everybody, you know, our folks we're uber patriotic, right? And people start saying why. The first thing I heard a lot was, why couldn't they find one of the Marleys to play the role? All right. So in the film, Kingsley Ben Adair, he plays Bob Marley, right? And he's a British actor. He's got some big films under his belt. You know, his filmography is coming. He's a young actor, so his filmography is coming. All right. And you know, we can name a couple of films that he's been in, but y'all could go look him up. Kingsley Ben Adair, and again, British actor doing his thing, right? Let me see if I can even look at a couple of things that he's been in. Let's see here. Deep State, King Arthur, The Legend of the Sword, Peaky Blinders, for those people who tune in, those people who watch. He was in Peaky Blinders also, and a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. He does have an extensive, and he does a lot. He's done some TV work too, soap opera kind of vibes, And, so he's the one chosen to play Robert Nesta Marley, Bob Marley, right? And then, like I mentioned, Lashana Lynch plays Rita Marley. Now, I love me some Lashana Lynch. I love Lashana, right? For those people who are like, who's Lashana Lynch? Well, she played, what's her name? Izogi in The Woman King. She was also in Captain Marvel, right? And also in Doctor Strange, all right? However, she's a British actress of Jamaican descent, right? She was born in England, of course, but her parents are from Kingston, you know what I mean? So, let me just say from Jamaica, 'cause everybody come from Kingston, right? So that's Lashana. And her filmography is crazy too, right? Crazy. She's in Powder Room, Fast Girls, No Time to Die, Bond, right? She dope. She dope, right? Izogi in The Woman King. Maria Rambeau, which is in Captain Marvel, in Doctor Strange, and again in the actual Captain Marvel movie, she played Maria Rambeau. I love her. I'm a fan, right? She's jumped. Well, here's the thing: we claim one some of the Jamaican, and then we claim them, right? So you can say she's Jamaican, but she wasn't born in Jamaica. She was not, right? No, we talk about. We say, is he really British though? From the heritage, you're talking about Kingsley, right? Kingsley. Let's see Kingsley's biography here. Let's see. Yeah, British actor. He is born in London, right? So he is British. And the uproar, it's one thing to talk about it, but when that trailer landed, right? All right, David, so how are we calling them British when there is a deeper heritage? Well, my response to that is, I'm Jamaican because I was born in Jamaica, right? Been African. So there's heritage there, of course. And Kingsley, I think his heritage is background from his family is Trinidadian. So you're right. I think they're from Trinidad, somewhere else in the Caribbean. So you're right in that regard. I only mentioned Lashana's Jamaican heritage because of the fact that the film is, you know what I mean, about the life of the most popular and impactful and influential Jamaican of all times. And of course, because people are up in an uproar about who's cast, right, to play these things, these parts. That's the reason I mentioned that she's Jamaican, right? Our Jamaican heritage, that is. As far as Kingsley goes, he is, I think it's Trinidad. I can't look it up, but I think his background is Trini. And but he was born in England, right? So I'm gonna give him that, a British actor. We can't take away from the people them, because sometimes we take away people things until the criminals come in. When the criminals come in and say them are Jamaican, we say them are straight up British, where them come from. But when them achieve something, we say off with them, right? But at the end of the day, those are the people cast. Now, the thing that I hear a lot is that why they couldn't, well, first of all, they were saying, why couldn't they choose one of the Marleys? Is what I heard a lot of. Why couldn't they choose one of the Marleys? As far as I'm aware, there's only one Marley that's an actor, and that's Kimani, right? So if you're going to say choose one of the Marleys, if you're looking for somebody who's an actor, in adverse to somebody who you're going to tell or ask to try and act, Kimani is the one that's an actor. So if you're saying why them couldn't use Kimani, I hear you. All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. Michelle says his accent fake. All right. Bob was for the people as much as his family. I think they should have consulted some Jamaicans on this. This is what Michelle says. Michelle Nesbitt said that. All right. So the accent fake. To be honest with you, I've never, unless it's a Jamaican person on here, normally the accent all sound the same, but I've heard this guy, his accent, and while it's not a Jamaican accent, he's not putting on too much of an accent like we saw with most people who play Jamaican parts, namely like in the Luke Cage movie, right? When they had the guy he's trying to do an accent. The reality of it is this: whenever our artists get on a hip hop record or them going up, whatever the case may be, the cameras turn on, they start talking with an American accent too, right? So you know, that's, and I'm just being facetious when it comes to the accent part of it. But here is the other thing that I was talking to somebody about. If you watch a lot of Bob's interviews, there's a lot of people love Bob and don't know where Bob is when I'm not singing, you know. When a lot of people watch the interviews, if they don't get the subtitles, they can't a lot of times understand what Bob's saying. Bob was deep and heavy with his Jamaican patois. So regardless of who played the role, I did not expect for the dialogue to be heavy patois laden. Now, what I will say, I did observe, and I am sure they're painfully aware of it too, which is probably why they did this. This might be just coincidence, but something I noticed was that in the trailer might have been about a minute and a half, or I think there are multiple trailers, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes is the longest one. But what I did notice in that trailer is that they did not use a lot of his dialogue. A lot of it was just facial expressions and, you know, and of course music in the background or whatever the case may be. It was very little that you heard him speak. And I think that was intentional. I do think it was intentional because, of course, that's the first thing that's going to come up, because we're also coming off of a couple of movies where people, you know, played Jamaican characters and with horrible accents, and it became a thing. So I do think that though I don't think the guy's accent is terrible because he's not putting on a heavy patois, you know what I mean? I think, and I could be 100% wrong, but I do think they made a concerted effort in the trailer to limit his dialogue, right? So let's see here. Sidney said the brother is good enough to do a masterful job playing Malcolm X. He's good enough to play Bob Marley. Sidney says that. David says his mannerisms. Yeah, they should. It's his mannerisms. He captured some of it, you know. But here's the funny thing about it: the Marley kids, they all in their own way have mannerisms of Bob. All of the children and grandchildren. Skip has it, right? But I'm gonna tell you something. You know who to me has the least mannerisms of Bob? Guess who has of the Marley children? You know who to me have the least? I'm not talking about Sonics now. I'm not talking about Sonics. I'm talking about like facial mannerisms. The least mannerisms of Bob from the Marley kids. The one that is the actor, Kimani. Kimani doesn't have Bob's mannerisms. Bob's mannerisms are way more clear and evident in Damien and in Julian. Damien and Julian have Bob's mannerism down, right? But in all, and Stephen too. But to be honest with you, the one that we would probably consider to play the role, because this is a big role, you can't just go say, yo, I'm going to get Marley because I'm named Marley, right? I'd hope not. You'd probably look for the one who has the acting chops. The acting chops is with Kimani, who does not have a lot of Bob's mannerisms, right? We're not talking about singing and Sonics here, right? But so that's another thing too. The other thing pretty much too is this. When it comes to choosing somebody to play Bob, casting is a thing, you know, because we always have people saying, hey, they could find a Jamaican actor. They say, I could find a Jamaican actor, right? Now, for everybody who says they could find a Jamaican actor, for everybody who says they could find a Jamaican actor, tell me a Jamaican actor that you know that could be cast, right? I remember when the Luke Cage scenario came out, the character that was being played, from a casting standpoint and a visual standpoint, from the pure optics, when people say, why, you could have used Paul Campbell because Paul Campbell's a great actor. It could have worked because Paul physically, you know, had semblance and resemblance of the character that was there. So I could see that, right? But I want you to tell me, all the people who say, yo, we should have used them, could have used a Jamaican actor. Name a Jamaican actor that you know that could be cast, right? Can't cast Paul Campbell because he's too old for that character. Can't cast Paul Campbell because he ain't light enough, right? People talk about the dreads looking like a wig. Can't imagine the makeup you'd have to put on Paul if he didn't look like Bob, right? So I'm just saying, for all the people who say we have the talent, which I'm not saying we don't, show me or tell me, because we have a tendency to do that. Yeah, man, it dead. But you've never seen it, but it's there. You ain't never seen it, but it's there, right? So tell me the Jamaican actor that could be cast. So I'm going to go back through some of the comments here and see what's good. You know what I mean? Let's see here. And then I'm going to open up these phone lines in about 10 minutes so we can have some conversation with you guys. David said, but actors are actors. They are acting the roles. They earn the opportunity to play it. Oh, you mean? David, I said, Kim on is too old for the role. David says, actors' accents are faked. Let's talk about that for a second, David, right? For years, when Idris was on The Wire, people didn't know he was British. What's my man from Star Wars? Not only from Star Wars, but also Daniel, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But there's a couple of British actors who've played American roles. Nobody said anything because you couldn't really tell until it's time for press and they're doing the interviews, right? You can't tell, right? Because they're actors and they learn the stuff. Now, you think, say, somebody from Baltimore who knows what a Baltimore accent is supposed to sound like can't nitpick it and be like, you don't really sound. But at the end of the day, he's acting, right? And that's something that I always pay attention to. No, let's go fictional here for a minute. We're prisoners of legacy, and sometimes we have our people who put on the shelves, and we will never take them off and never replace them. Namely, Christopher Reeve, right? People talk about Christopher Reeve playing Superman and how iconic and whatever the case may be. The best Superman was Henry Cavill, which was the most recent one in the Superman film. Now, forget about the film. I'm talking about the actor as Superman, his presence as Superman, the whole nine as Superman, captured, embodied Superman. He is British, right? He's British. So a lot of that are going on. David said, at the end of the day, it's getting the point across. Sidney said, the brother is good enough to do a masterful job of playing Malcolm X. And again, Malcolm X ain't British, but he played a role, right? David, I said, accurate. The dialogue in the trailer is very small. Mannerism from David Harrison, you're absolutely right. But facial expressions are important to our body language. And I ain't mad at what I've seen. Sean Garrett said, oh, what a rat race. Joanna said, Davian. Larger myself, Garrett. Marlon said, I'm not questioning his acting skills, but I would have liked an authentic accent because I know the difference, right? Feel you on that one, Marlon. But again, my thing is, does it exist? Does that Jamaican accent, does that Jamaican actor exist that could be cast in the role because of the semblance and resemblance, right? As well as has the acting chops to bring Bob to the big screen, right? Let me see here. And of course, we all know the difference in the accent, but the difference, I'll tell you the thing for me is this. I'm not listening for an accent. I'm not there trying to critique his patois. I'm critiquing his acting, right? So I'm looking for his acting, and at the end of the day, I never expected, even if they used a Jamaican actor, I never expected them for them to make the dialogue patois, right? The accent would be there, but I never expected them to make the dialogue patois because you'd be alienating a lot of the audience, right? Because like I said, you have those people who just love Bob for the music. They don't know about nothing else. You have some people who have just heard about Bob. Some people are being introduced to Bob and all that stuff, and it's the music, right? Now, to go sit down and watch a film in patois, they probably wouldn't do, right? And there's no telling if there's going to be subtitles. Now, even for big budget films that have subtitles because there's a language situation, that always affects what it grosses, right? So those are things that we'll get into. David said, I probably can't name one. There will always be critics. Jimmy Cliff, what you saying about Jimmy Cliff? Polly. Marlon said, he seems to play the part well. I'm not going to not watch it or get into the storyline because of the accent. It's just a personal disappointment for me. And guess what? I feel you on that one. It is always a disappointment because here's the deal. Our patriotism is what matters, and Bob is our icon, is our legend. Bob is, again, right now, There has never been another human being that came from Jamaica that is as huge, iconic, and popular and impactful as Bob, right? Human being, animal, fruit, nothing, right? Nothing bigger than Bob to have come out of Jamaica. You tell me somebody, I'm telling you somebody you made up, right? Blessings, DJ Apples, large up. So, let me see here. Marlon said, I'm still excited about it. Sans authentic accent. David says, Superman from another planet. Any accent is accurate. Man, you know what? But he grew up in Kansas, man. He came here as a baby. Trust me, I'm a comic book fan. Came here as a baby. All right? Not too far out the womb. Came here as a baby, grew up in Kansas. All right? You don't get no more American than that. All right? You don't get no more American than Kansas. Trust me. All right? Bob should have played Bob. Not you, David. Not you. Big respect for them to make this film and make it to the big screen. All right? Looks like a nice clean-up version of Bob Life, though. The acting wicked. I don't even, why? I wonder about that in the head. I wonder if it's going to be a clean-up version because, again, remember, it's a movie, you know. So they're selling the movie. So rather than it being a clean-up version of Bob Life, I'm probably expecting them to embellish. You know what I mean? Embellish. Next thing you know, in the movie, before it done, you find out that Bob have superpowers and them something. You know what I mean? Him can fire a laser beam out of him guitar and them something. You know what I mean? And them locks them just choke out. Joanna said they would not get. What did she say here? Hold on. Why be disappointed? Choose to be excited until you see the full film. Not Caribbean. What did Marlon say? People might not be able to tell the difference in the accent, but I can. I mean, trust me, a lot of people can. David, you know, easy, you know, Superman come from another planet for real. Facts, though. Facts. All right. Hold on there. See if we can get to Joanna. You did make a comment just about the people that pushed on your comment, and my girl, I want to tell us the thing, you know. So, and of course, there's a people over there. Let me hit up my good folks over here on Jamaicans.com. What about Dale Elliott? Michelle says. So, outside of being a light-skinned person, Dale, this is just my opinion though. Outside of being light-skinned and maybe not even light enough, from a casting standpoint, Dale doesn't embody Bob. Good actor. I like his acting. And to be perfectly honest with you, I saw him in one film where he played a Jamaican athlete. So, wasn't too far-fetched. So I haven't seen a lot of his acting skills on display, but I loved what he did in that film. But remember, casting is one thing, and it's like when that's why I say you got to give credit where credit is due. We talk about these comic book movies. Look at Marvel, what Marvel did with Avengers. You look at Iron Man, Tony Stark, perfect casting, right? With Robert Downey Jr. You look at Thor, Chris Hemsworth, perfect casting. It's just casting is important, right? Dale, while being a light-skinned guy, doesn't embody Bob in any way, shape, or form. Just like I said earlier about Kimani, when people were screaming for it to be a Marley, right? When they're screaming for it to be a Marley, I'm like, I hear you. But Kimani, who is the actor amongst the family, doesn't embody Bob in a physical being, right? Hey, Diana, how are you? She said, greetings, how are you? And wow, those apples that you mentioned will be flying out. Jano, you know how it goes. I was supposed to ask in Jamaica, would Ocho Rios be vacation soon? I am from Ocho Rios. I do live in South Florida. So I'm not in Jamaica right now, but now you make me want to be, man. Trust me. No, you done messed it up for me. I know I want to be in Jamaica. I want to be in Ochi. Oh, man. All right. She said, I know the play will not hit Canada anytime soon where I am. By the way, even if you were not born in Jamaica and your parents were, I will claim Jamaicanness. And guess what? We all do that unless they're criminals. Not you? Yo, let me tell you something. Here's a funny thing about it. We talk about that, you know. When our people of Jamaican descent do great things, right? We claim them right away. But you see, even if they are real genuine Jamaicans, you remember why am I bringing this up? You remember Lee Boyd Malvo, right? This DC sniper. Everybody revoke him Jamaican. No, people are, no, he's not Jamaican. No. Gotta be fair. All right. Michelle says that's because people would pick up on the inauthenticity. I don't think people will pick up on the inauthenticity. I think Jamaicans will pick up on the inauthenticity, and the Jamaicans and people of the diaspora are picking up on the inauthenticity, and I hate the word, right? In this context, inauthenticity, because of the fact that we don't want to accept it. At the end of the day, we don't want to accept it. Let's just call a spade, right? It's no different sometimes than when we have our reggae music and we hear it covered. It's only because we glorify some of the R&B and hip-hop artists why we embrace it. But for the most part, we don't like when people touch our stuff. You know what I mean? We don't like when people don't play with my. Give me my marbles back. You know what I mean? Give me my ball. I'm going home. That's how we are as Jamaicans. Let's call a spade. Unless you're taking what we have and put it on a platform and say, yo, this is great and we love it and Jamaica's the greatest thing in the world, then we don't want to hear nothing else, right? Give me my ball. Give me my marbles. You're not playing with my marbles, okay? Michelle says there's so many great Jamaican actors that could have gotten this exposure and chance. And again, you could be right, but I think you're generalizing because you mentioned Dale, but whom else? Because again, Dale couldn't. Now, they knew what they wanted. That they wanted to do a biopic a long time. They could have had Skip Marley do acting classes. Doing acting classes for a year to prepare you for a role might not necessarily cut it. So here's what I am going to do right now. I'm going to open up the phone lines right about now. I'm going to start taking some phone calls, and we're going to talk to some people. Michelle, call me and cuss me off. The phone number is in the thing there, in the banner, and I'm going to take my first call, all right? Caller, you're live. Caller, can you hear me? Caller, no, you sound like you're in a vortex. Caller, can you hear me? Calling out the vortex. All right, we'll go to another call. Caller, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Jano, your thing sound HD, no man. Wait there. You outside the door? you got the good phone. You got the good phone.
Wait, Trey.
My brother, talk to me.
So a whole heap of things I feel, but I definitely don't like all of the negative attention before we even get to see anything. The idea that we have seen a trailer with so little dialogue and we're so quick to be judgmental about it. And I understand, yes, we are, as Jamaicans, we are able to identify the accuracy of our accents. Mm-hmm. I absolutely get that. But there's a lot of bigger things going on that I think we should celebrate. I won't get into that, but I'm going to speak to the heart of what people seem to be most perturbed about, which is this whole idea of the Jamaican accent. Now, brethren, me born and grew up Jamaica. I lived there for, I'm just going to call it, the majority of my life. In excess of 20 odd years, I live at Jamaica. I don't want to give out my age complete, but plenty years I live at Jamaica. When I go to Jamaica right now, I'm inauthentic too. I'm a born and grew up Jamaica. Wow. So what is it that we're really doing? Like, I would have people in Jamaica want to call me a Jamaican. But I'm born and grew up Jamaica. My parents are Jamaican. My grandparents are Jamaican. But born and grew in the country. But how authentic shall we be? What is the marker? The man has a multitude of attributes why they chose him to play the role. Mm-hmm. I'm sure his accent wasn't the reason they chose him. It's his ability to express emotions in different way, to memorize his lines and to deliver them in a particular way. There's an overall set of attributes. Like you said, the popularity of his name in films, currently his background, what he has done, his age, his look, etc. This was the package chosen by his family. So sure, maybe the family is biased and they want Bob to be seen in a particular light. Hallelujah. I am so happy for that. But I don't understand why we are being so critical. Is it that we cannot see that it's a multitude of different parts that come into who you choose and what is going to make the best business decision for the role? So I get how we're upset, but I also wonder why we don't see the bigger picture and just relax a little bit until we see the film. Because maybe he nails the role like no one else could. But we don't know enough, and yet we're so quick to start tearing down the choice. Mm-hmm. I am disappointed by that aspect. I'm eager to see the film, but I, for one, I'm extremely excited. I'm so proud. It's only so few films have really gone to the big screen in this type of fashion that displays our culture, our heritage, our music, etc. Sure, there have been a few successes in the 70s and the 80s, but what recent film carries this type of weight that carries our culture? I am so thrilled that we have this opportunity. Again, I can't see where we're getting this negative vibration about something that is so uber positive and wonderful. And let's wait to see the thing before we pop down the man and the role he's played.
You know, it's funny, David. Let me tell you something. I don't think anybody, no matter how good the accent was, no matter how the accent will be, if that person was not a Jamaican, I don't think we would be having any different of a discussion right now. You said that you're disappointed. I bet I can use a word that you are not, though. Surprised.
No, sir. Again, I said earlier, I was born there. Nothing about Jamaica going to surprise me, father. As a matter of fact, I could have expected nothing else. We are, if nothing else, the most, well, no, let me not say most, because I don't know enough of the other cultures of the world. I know a lot, but we are of the most critical and judgmental people. That's how we are trained to be.
Yeah.
Before I reached the age of 20, because I was somewhat in the public eye, I heard about 1 gazillion different opinions of who I was, that I had to grow a thick skin and learn, but burn down my shame tree early, because otherwise I couldn't exist. I couldn't survive. Jamaica is a special place when it comes to, yo, I don't know if I'm going to tell you the story, Gico, but in a quick second,
Yeah.
I was maybe 18 years old, and I got a call from a gentleman in Jamaica telling me to stop being me, because he sees stories about me in a newspaper and he hear about me from some friends and so on. And he happened to be named David Muir. He was I believe, the curator of the National Gallery at the time. And he was calling me to complain that I was giving his name a bad image. I could not believe this. Again, I didn't say I was 40. I didn't say I was 60. Right. I was like not even 20 years old. And my brother I called me for judgment. I don't going to tell me off him for act my life. I tell him, he can't change his name if he need to.
What? How dare you not change your name to Trevor? How dare you not change your name to Trevor, David? That's how we are, though. That's our people. And that's how we come across with everything, right? And here's the funny thing. And I could state this on my conversation here, but I purposely did not, because I'm not in the room with anybody so they could lie to me. And it's highly likely that they would, right?
Yeah.
I spoke to two ladies, and they were up in arms. They were not happy. They were giving me all the things, and you know what I mean? Some of the stuff don't make no sense, but they just say it. You know, when people say it more and more and more and more, I figure more, if I say it over and over and over, it start making sense. But it didn't, right? So I asked them one question. I said, and they weren't together, so it's not like a joint thing. I said, both individual. I said, do you own a Bob Marley record, CD, cassette? Neither of them did. Neither of them did. Right? So, and to be honest with you, I just let it go right there. But that said a lot to me. You burn down the thing and throw and drown the thing and say, listen, this is what it's supposed to be and this is what it's not supposed to be, because it's Bob. Bob's the greatest. Bob is the best. How dare we not represent Bob in such and such? And you never one day take up your $9.99, your $10.99. Dang, it's some of the album that you might be able to get for $5.99. But you never ever bought you a Bob Marley album. So where does the entitlement come from? I ain't get no answer, David.
Well, again, it's about, being the authentic Jamaican, as you said, the inauthenticness of the brother. Again, we don't know. We don't know what the director asked of the actor. We don't know what the producers were going for. Where are we going with this critique? We can be disappointed, surely, that it isn't what we would have liked to see for Bob. But there are people with interest who greenlighted it and approve what took place as the best for their vision of what this whole project was about. And I am giving thanks that the project is about. I look forward to gaining insights about Bob Marley and his relationships with the world, with his family, with everything. Sure, it's going to be biased coming from his family's perspective or the people who, control the purse strings on the project. But that's okay with me. We've heard so many other opinions over the years. I'm happy to get a fresh perspective from a set of people that I think have some good interest and for this project. So,
and for the most part, better knowledge of who he is than the people who only listen to him on the radio.
Yeah, I'm going to assume they do, yes.
My brother, I can always count on you for rational, right? I can always, and I must say that's something I sincerely appreciate. And I give thanks for the perspective because we need it. Jano.
Blessings, my brother.
All right? Much respect.
Let's G.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a nice convo. Call it alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a nice
You can't hear me? So here, hold on. You have to turn on your radio or something in the background because I hear echo.
So here, hold on. You have to turn on your radio or something.
Turn down whatever you got going on in the background. All right, you good? Can you hear me now? Caller. You can hear me now?
Yeah, man.
You're crystal clear. You're HD. You sound like you're at a door for real. All right, sir. Let me know what's going on. Give me your take.
G. Cole.
Yes, sir.
This is the one and only Father B.
Jano
from
Father
Yard Media.
Jano Father B. Give thanks. Give thanks. Always appreciate your viewpoint, my brother. I'm here. I'm open ears.
Listen, I listen to my other brethren, David, with you on the thing a while ago, and Jano. But let me say this first and foremost. We have basically two good documentary on Jamaican music from fairly different perspectives that are on record. The first was the Harder They Come.
Yes.
Which was released in Jamaica in 1972-73, thereabouts, right? And then a few years later, the Island Records released the Marley CD,
right?
Which is another epic production on Jamaican music. We're in a position, and as a man who I try to develop my own archive on the music itself, may I tell you, every effort that is being made to produce this kind of archival material is significant and must be applauded, right?
Yes.
I think it is fair to say that, while a lot of people in Jamaica have a whole heap of money, and a lot of people in Jamaica have a whole heap of argument as to who should and shouldn't be involved in a project like this. Here's one thing that we know for a fact. They don't put no money out there to raise up any of these projects. They have, it's one thing I hear is say, a lot of people out there who are talking about Marley and don't even own a record, right?
Yep.
Me I grew up with Marley. In fact, me was in my early, just what was it, 63, 64 when Marley a bus with Simmer down, me a little boy, right? And so the story of Marley is literally a template for, as a youth that come out of the period. Most of us, our lives followed along the trajectory that he took.
Right.
When I remember going to work at the Tom Redcom Library in 1976, and we had a little area called a listening post where we set up some soft chair with some headset and play albums for the visitors to the library who come in the liquor section. And I went downtown and bought some records, which included 3 Marley albums: Burning, Catch a Fire, and I think the other one was with Simodon, with Natty Dread, right? Can't remember the thing. But when we came back, the principal librarian almost fired me because I can't tell me who give me permission to take the library money and go buy dirty and Rasta boy music. We'll never forget that. And that happened almost 50 years ago. I still remember it as if it happened yesterday, right? A lot of us are hypocrites, right? We have all of these critiques. We only recognize Marley after I'm dead and gone. But as you said, none of them no buy a piece of his music. My take on this investment, timely, that it is being underwritten, by his own family. It could, you can't get it from anybody, from any other group better than that. Right? It is for them to tell the story of their patriarch, right? And so they're not preparing the story for a video them going to put on them coffee table for watch when them feel like. They might make a piece of work, an artistic work that is going to be marketed to the entire world. Marley took Jamaican music to over 176 countries in the world, right? And that is, this is a project that is being geared towards an international, a global audience. And this is something that, as a people, as Jamaicans, what we need to do is to celebrate it, right? We need to, me respect what you're doing, because you have a little more patience than me, right? But me will tell you straight up that me not really pay no attention to the gallery section and the criticism. Because none of them, most of them will even spend the little $20 for go watch the movie anyway, right? And we have all kind of opinion, because that's how what Jamaicans do. In the early period when the music just moved, it was in fact the diaspora that helped move the music around the world. Today, Jamaica people now buy Jamaican music, right? We want to hear it free. Artists, we are talking about artists who come and perform, and we wouldn't even spend a little $20, $30, or $40 to go pay at a concert to watch them perform. So them people that can say any kind of thing with them want to say. Because guess what? Them not where it is the thing count is when you go in your wallet, take out your credit card or your cash and pay. And
speak with your resources.
Yeah, you talk with your money. And if you don't have the money for talk, man, anything where you say that's hot here or come out of your mouth. Me personally, no waste no time with that.
Let me ask you 2 questions in line with that. One, when you heard all the rumblings, were you disappointed?
No, 'cause I expected it.
Okay, the other question was going to be, did you expect it? And I guess the answer is yes.
Yeah, I expected it, because one of the things what we do is that the easiest thing in the world for us to do as Jamaicans is to find fault. It's coming like we get a prize for finding fault, right? It's like there's a competition out there for finding fault. And again, most of the people that might find fault now have $2 for dust off against one another. Right?
And a lot of them do, but they will not dust it off and give.
Well, may I come to that too, because you're right. You know, we people out there who have money don't see the music as worthwhile. Them still associate Marley as a dirty Rasta boy, and them not put nothing behind it. Them will go and sing One Love and thing when them have them like a party and stuff. But them investment, them not put no skin in the game. So them man, they can't say anything, right? It is an embarrassment that a country such as Jamaica that has given more than 8 genres of music to the world, right? And we are at a point now where the majority of Jamaicans can't even, if you talk to them about the artists where before 1995 and them no know who, them can't identify with it, because we're very short on investing in and bolstering our history.
Yep.
And that is what this whole project is about. It is about a snapshot of the music at a period in time. The marketing Marley as a revolutionary, which is, when you talk to the people who are associated with him in the period that he was around, they will tell you that is the that's the vantage point that the world looked at him from, as a revolutionary, a mystic, right?
Yeah.
And it is for them to tell that story, right? And what we should be doing is encouraging those with the resources to invest in documenting the stories behind our music, right? Because if we don't do it, others are going to come by and they're going to buy it for chop and save, and they're going to take it and do what they want with it, right? We cannot be claiming nationalism. We cannot be talking about being loyal and supportive and patriotic. But
we're very, our patriotism is all verbal, doing it. That's my observation, is most of our patriotism is strictly verbal. No, as long as you don't require me to leave my house and go out there and put on an effort or spend a little bit of money, then I'm the biggest patriot when it comes to Jamaica. You know what I mean? That's the mindset, and that's the vantage point of the populace. And, some of the diaspora and a lot of the nationals is, I'm entitled, the culture is mine, the music is mine, the food is mine, the heritage is mine, as long as it doesn't require me to exert any effort and spend any of my money. So I owe people that. Verbal patriots.
And that's why, again, as we say, I think it's a very interesting topic that you have tackled this evening. Mm-hmm. It is interesting to watch the perspectives, to listen to, and hear the ventilation of some of these negatives. But I'm not surprised. I think, though, it does provide a funnel through which other views, like mine, which is kind of left field, the previous scholar, that we put our own perspectives out there. The reality is that our culture is the biggest part of who we are. And if we are unprepared to invest in its documentation, its chronicling, right? And providing the framework within which archives can be developed, right? Then what it means, if we don't do that, it means that as a people we have failed. Because you want to kill a country, kill a people, and kill the culture. Yeah. And the best way to kill the culture is to silence the voices that are there who are prepared to put in investment. I welcome this thing. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I will be honest with you. I'm not just a Marley fan. I'm a disciple of Marley, right? Mm-hmm. I can barely think of a record that Marley has produced that I don't have, right? And I used to live in a house on Sanders Crescent with some friends of mine when we were going to UA in that 1970s period, where we were just about a block or two away from 56 Hope Road. Wow. And we used to just go up on the rooftop. Especially, I think I used to rehearse on a Wednesday and a Saturday. And we go up on the house top with a little keg of red stripe and thing, and be treated to some free concert while I'm a rehearsing, right? So, that's where I come from, right? And so Marley's importance, to me, in fact, I will say that Marley is perhaps the most significant Jamaican, even more significant than a Marcus Garvey. Definitely,
I agree.
More significant than any other national hero that we have crowned in Jamaica, right? And that his family can honor him in this kind of way and honor those of us who are the fans by putting in this investment. Me love it. That the youth that them choose, them know the reason. For them, me come from a background and them say the man who pay the piper, him call the tune.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if them have put up their money, them have every right to decide who them want to star in the movie. And me want somebody where when the thing hit the streets, right? Just like how Harder They Come and the current, the older Marley movie is a piece of archival and historical work that this will survive another 100 years, right? And be there for those who never know, right? That's what we're talking about. So, brethren, you go and keep up the good work. And don't want to listen to the naysayers. Here, sir?
I appreciate you as always, sir. Definitely wise words. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Respect, my brother. Keep it up.
Blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the upcoming Marley film. All right, the film is called. It's apparently wrapped up post-production and ready to go. We've ours in the process of post-production. The trailer is out, right? And again, the uproar, the rumbling started before the movie was greenlit. It carried through until now when the rumblings have gotten louder, become borderline and uproar, right? Arlene said, Bob is the best. I said, Tinga Stewart or Tommy Cohen. Nicola said, I am Jamaican and I have a movie on Lifetime on my life. And people were upset that Tatiana Ali played me and she's Caribbean as well, right? Again, Caribbean thing there, right? Hopefully, you know what? I will always say, because I'm a little timid when we always claim the folks, you know, because sometimes I don't hear them claiming us, but I hope they are. Nichelle says, I don't want to wait to see the film to see if he owned the role. I can't call negativity. We all love Bob and wanted his depiction to be as Jamaican as it should be. Absolutely. All right. Diana said, my grandparents retired to Bermuda and many other family members reside there. They have converted lots of Bermudans to Bob Marley music. When I visit and driving down the road to their houses, you can hear Bob Marley blasting. Grandpa says it is good that they reside in the bush and houses are far apart and lots of land space. Trust me, I love that. I love that. Disagreeing don't make you a naysayer. For real, I hear you, Michelle. Facts. Let's see here. Big screen quality thing, John and Marie said. It's that simple in one sentence. So, Tara, I think we missed another call. If you're still on, give us a buzz back. And all the people who tried calling in, you can definitely try again. The phone number is up there. No, I'm asking the questions. Here's my viewpoint on the thing. Bob Marley, the most iconic, most impactful, most influential, beloved, adored, respected, revered entity to have risen from the soil of Jamaica, right? An entity that was not embraced, loved, supported by the soil of Jamaica, majority of, until he achieved global stardom, and some would also say until he passed, right? However, let's compare a couple of things now. You think of Malcolm X, not the latest version, but the original version, or I don't think it was the original, but the second version that had Denzel in it, right? There's a reason why it was Denzel Washington. Denzel's a presence, a big screen presence, right? So he's going to bring the eyes. It's no different from when, and I'm going to personalize it right now. I'm apostrophizing it right now, right? This is no different from when I've had an artist on the rise say to me once, trying to get on the show, and eventually did, that, I only brought on the bigger name artists on there, which was not true, right? But the thing is, I bring on the big name artists because the big name artists is going to bring notoriety and eyes come in. And then when you come on, the people can watch you, right? I'll get into it some more and get to you. But caller, you're live. Caller, you're live. Caller, you're live. Let me get the caller on here. Caller, you're live. Can you hear me? Caller, you are live. Did I lose you?
Yes, G. Cole, I am here.
Well, go on, my brother. Talk to me.
No, man, I mean, everything that we've discussed, I think I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing the film in its entirety. What I'm most interested in is the storyline and how Bob is portrayed. I have personally done a lot of research on Bob. I've read the book that his wife wrote, I read the book that his longtime manager wrote, and I've spoken to people who've been around him, and I would just like to see how the storylines that I am conscious of play out in the film, and I think the fact that the family members are involved in production, and I believe Neville Garrick, who's a close confidant of Marley, is also involved. I think that gives me the confidence that those things are in place, the storyline.
Right. I am,
I'm
excited too.
I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to actually seeing it, because the trailer, since the whole accent thing, like I said, I'm a Jamaican, so I noticed that right away. but outside of that, it looks well produced to me. So
right, it's big screen quality.
I'm looking forward to seeing.
It's built for the silver screen. It is obviously not a low budget film, and not something that's designed and created to be a cult classic that you have in a DVD in the back of your thing, but never went and saw at the theater. We have misguided patriotism, and that's just my opinion. And here's another reason. I'm gonna put something up on the screen for the masses right now. I spoke to somebody today, and the person said to me, even the man Locks look like a wig star, and whatever the case may be, right? No.
Yeah, I think it's to the point of nitpicking. When you start hearing comments,
when you start going,
it's like you're looking for something to criticize.
You are, and here's the crazy thing about it: Lashana Lynch, love her, right? Love her, and a dope actress, and I'm sure she's gonna deliver as Rita, right? But here's the funny thing about it: her locks no look no more real. If you see Lashana, if you go up on Lashana Instagram right about now, she ain't got no hair. So obviously, it's straight up wig and whatever the case may be, right?
Her locks, it is the movies and acting, right?
Exactly. Now, her locks don't look any realer than his does. But you see, because Lashana is of Jamaican heritage, right? She's met the quota to not be dissected for the role. Now, get me wrong. I know what she can do, but because the other gentleman is not, then automatically vitriol, he ain't it. Right?
Yeah. And you're right. Absolutely.
And if you look at the picture of the guy too, as Bob Marley, like I've had some people say, yo, he should have been one of the Marley youth, then will look just, but the truth is, if the image that I see of the guy there, if he's Kingsley Ben Adair, if he stood in a family picture, a fake family picture with him and Gang and Julian and Stephen and and blah 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 blah,
he would fit right in.
He would fit right in. As a matter of fact, you'd probably look at Ron and Robbie and Epon. I don't know if them two boys over there are Marleys. You know what I mean? But you'd be like, he is. So the unfortunate thing is, a lot of times our criticism is not based on what we see. It's based on what we feel. It's like a father. I said to my daughter one time, when you bring a boyfriend to the house, how I feel about him is not a testament to how good he is. I am wired to hate him, right? My inner wiring is to hate him. So he's not going to come in here getting loved and working his way down. He coming in here getting hated and have to try to work his way up. Right? Because I am wired to not like him. So at the end of the day, it's the same thing here where...
Good analogy. Analogy.
Definitely wired.
And I think that applies here. We're kind of... We say, boy, I should have been a yard man in other roles.
But at the end of the day, even if we feel that way, because you can feel that way and then make your rationality kick in, right? Because we're human beings, right?
True.
But then...
correct.
When people say we have a lot of talented... Here's the thing. We do have a lot of talent in Jamaica. But again, when we say a lot of times we over-accentuate that word because, again, the size of Jamaica in itself, Jamaica can fit in Florida probably 10, 12, 15 times.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So when we when we talk about how much talent we have, it's per capita. It's not that much. And that's the reason why. That's the reason why when one set of athletes retire, we're not always still at the top. It takes some time to build back up because we ain't got the plethora of talent that we'd like to tell ourselves that we do. Right?
That's correct.
And I mean, per capita, yes, it's a lot. But per capita, it ain't because you're comparing it to a bigger global market. My brother, you get it.
Yeah, I do get it. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and trust the professionals who know how to screen actors to select somebody. Because we don't know who got rejected for the part.
And you know what? I've done some theater in Marlon. I've done some theater. Can you imagine? And I'm Jamaican and I watch him come from. You know what I mean? Born and raised. Can you imagine if I got the role? Can you imagine them casting me as Bob?
Boy, you know, it says a Fenton man get the role of Bob Marley.
Look how him dark, look how him black, look how him big, Bob Marley is slim. No matter what, at the end of the day, you can't please, I shouldn't say John public, but Jamaican public. My brother, give thanks.
Yeah, every time, my brother.
Appreciate y'all as always, man. Take it easy.
All right, one love.
One love, one love. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just talking right about now about the upcoming film. All right? The upcoming film, One Love, the Bob Marley movie. Now, here's the thing. Again, let's talk practicality now. Let's talk commerce now, right? You heard about The Harder They Come, which Richie spoke about. Sir Mr. B talked about The Harder They Come. And, of course, the Bob Marley docu, right, that came out. Let's talk about some other things. My favorite Jamaican film is not Third World Cop. It ain't Shutters, which are called classic films, which never saw the big screen in the theaters. And when I said didn't see the theaters, I mean mass. Sometimes you have a one theater in a specific demographic and an area that they're going to show it for a day or two or whatever. But I'm talking about to hit the big screen, right? My favorite is One Love. One Love with Kimani Marley, Christopher Johnny Daly, Idris Elba, Shireen Anderson, right? The namesake film, One Love. That's my favorite Jamaican film. It's not a shoot 'em up film, right? It's a love story. But none of those films, as much as Idris was in that film, and that was a young Idris before he blew up and became Big Driss, you know what I mean? Before he was Big Driss, you know, Idris coming up. Nobody in that film had the pull to make that film, and the acting was great. The storyline was great, right? But nobody in that had the acting. I mean the mainstream power and prowess and presence and name and brand to bring that to the big screen and generate the revenue and the buzz that it should. Right. When it comes to film, there's a couple of things that are important. Yes, production, direction, and all them things are important when it comes to accolades and acclaim. And who's going to say this is Oscar worthy and whatever. But it's many trash movies and unworthy movies that spent a lot of time in the box office because of who the people were, and it was a draw, right? Right now, The Flash is still in theaters. It's the worst DC movie they say that's ever came out. And truthfully, I don't think it's as terrible. It's just that people don't like Ezra Miller right about now. He did some foul stuff and the backlash is heavy, right? But a lot of film have come out, and based on, you know, sometimes what the expected gross is supposed to be, it falls short, but it still grosses a lot of money worldwide and, of course, within the continental U.S. Now, if they need this film to go into movie theaters, which to me is important, I don't care. I don't get a cut of the check, so I don't care about the revenue. I'm be front. It'll be dope to say, oh, it's a high-grossing film, but guess who won't get a cut? I don't get a cut of the check. So deep down, I don't care about none of that, right? But it's accolades, and I'd love to be able to say, yeah, man, it's a high-grossing film, right? Don't know, it's not. I don't know how expensive the film was, but I do know it's not on a big budget. It ain't like a shoot 'em up Marvel flick, so it don't cost a certain amount of money, right? So the overhead not gonna be like one of those films. So I expect it to do well and make a profit. But when you think of Bob Marley, I think of Bob Marley no less. On the Limits, no less than I think of Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X. And if those films, they went and got the best actors, biggest names, so that those movies could go on the big screen and do what it does, especially when it comes to docu-films, you know. People are out here for entertainment. So first of all, just like when you have culture music and you have certain type of music, it ain't automatically generating the buzz as would just frivolous music and party music and an action film, right? So you need acting prowess. Again, Lashana Lynch, dope. You can't go wrong. I'm happy she's the one playing Rita Marley. Happy. Love Lashana. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to her on this program one of these days soon. Working on it, right? But as much as we love Gang, I'm a big fan. Gang ain't an actor, but let's say they gave him the role, right? As much as we love Jojo, ain't no actor, but let's say they gave him the role. As much as we love Kimani, casting-wise doesn't fit the mold, but let's say they gave him the role, right? As much as we love Skip, not an actor, but let's say they gave him a role. Let's say like Mr. Worth of acting training, right? Which would not have been enough, but let's say they gave him the year and he did his thing, did a great job, right? At the end of the day, none of those names would be filling the box office, right? They would not be filling those movie theater seats. Those are musicians. People who go to see them on concert stages, not necessarily going to a movie theater to go see them, right? And even if, and again, their niche audience, their audience is very niche. Their audience pack is not as wide as a Bob. So all of the people who'd come out to see Bob and stuff like that wouldn't necessarily come out to see that. So just from a commercial standpoint, a profitability standpoint, that would have been a financial misstep. And again, it's no disrespect because these are people I got nothing but love and respect for. All right? But it would have been a misstep. That's just my opinion, right? I don't know how they feel about it personally. Maybe somebody victim say, yo, what could I did me? But I'm just saying all of this not to challenge them, but just to say, for those people who were saying, yeah, it should be them just based on lineage, right? And how much they look like their father and whatever the case may be. When it comes to looking like their father and capturing mannerisms and all of that for camera, no, bro. No. The dude that's playing the role, Kingsley Ben-Adir, I think they did a good job in terms of casting from a physical standpoint, right? And to be perfectly honest with you, you're also talking about, okay, we have can I find a talented Jamaica? Would that stop the person from having to put fake locks in? Right? Now, here's the question. You're going to find a talented Jamaican who has the real patois and real authentic Jamaican accent, right? But then now the director said, okay, great. And don't get me wrong, we can definitely, our language is English, right? It is not patois, it's English. We speak patois, but the language is English, right? But then they are going to, no, when the director said, okay, then I need you to now speak. Yeah, man, give me an accent, but I need it in English, right? Then you are also going to come out now, the same people who have said these guys, you're also going to come out and discredit the person's way of speaking to us. But Bob not talk like that. Or him talk. So he's a Jamaican and him let we down. Him not even come out and give you the real thing. As if to say the actor doesn't have to follow the directions of the writers and the producers and the directors, right? So at the end of the day, anything short of Paul Campbell playing Bob Marley, ask me how I can swing that, right? Would not be accepted. Tell me the other Jamaican. I want somebody to tell me another Jamaican. Like Michelle mentioned Dale Elliott. And I say, my opinion, Dale would be, from a physical standpoint, would be a bad casting. Right? Just physically does not embody. And I'm a fan of Dale. Right? Jackie said, when the trailer came out in the UK, social media was on fire. We're going to show up and represent this film even in cold January 2024, especially to support Alashana. Again, I'm going to see the film. I hope, I'm outside of just the logics of it. I do hope it's a good film. The trailer looks good. I do hope it doesn't disappoint. I will never be disappointed in an accent because that's not what I'm here for. I'll never be disappointed in the costume in terms of the locks and whatever. Okay, you don't know, so the man have no ear, but you have to put it on, right? You have to put it on, right? But at the end of the day, the acting, the message, the storyline is what's going to capture me. And if all of that is up to standard, then hey, I'm going to see it multiple times. I'm going to tell everybody to go see it. If there's such a thing as DVDs by then, that's one of the things that I have to own, right? It ain't about, it up on a streaming service because I don't own the streaming service, right? That's one of the things that I got to own, the DVD. But I do think it's a situation where we have to think profit. And guess what? The people act like, say, boy, no Jamaican not in the thing at all. There are, and I could go through the list, but one other Jamaican that's in there too is Ashton Barrett. Plays Family Man. That's a Family Man son, right? So he's in there. There are Jamaicans in there, right? Let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. Again, we don't like hear this, but let's call a spade a spade. We are an overly critical people. We're an overly critical, non-supporting people, right? And for the most part, most of the people who will give you their criticism on everything is not going to support it. If you listen to the criticisms and make it perfectly to what they would want it to be, they still are not going to support it, right? Now, bear in mind, we all have Bob down as our legend, and everybody cult classic love Bob and whatever the case may be. But how long now? You think how many films have come out about different people? Mandela, Pele, a whole bunch of people where Bob Marley is on the same plane, same level as many of them, and the Bob film couldn't come out, right? One, it's a Jamaican story, so that's an issue there. Two, you deal with estates and all that thing there. And then three, just getting it right. I am sure many people have approached the family to do the film, and they probably had to turn down a couple of stuff because it just wasn't right. No. A perfect example. Ray. You remember when Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles? It was an easier cast. Jamie Foxx was exceptionally talented. He plays the piano just like Ray Charles. Right? Statue, figure-wise, physique-wise, kind of like Ray Charles. Easy to get your hair to cut low like Ray when film hair low to and get it's an easier casting job, but they did an excellent job of casting talent because they needed somebody with the talent to embody it. And I don't think anybody else could have played Ray. Right? I don't think anybody else could have played Ray. But let me tell you something. If Jamie didn't convince the world by doing the impressions and playing the music before and singing some stuff on the Kanye record and whatnot, before the Ray movie came out, a lot of people would have been like this, stiff arming Jamie to the ceiling. This film come out, what's going to be like? Right? It was a way more difficult task to cast somebody to play Bob than it was to play Ray. But look how we look at Ray with adoration. And look how we look at Ray as an exceptional film, an Oscar-worthy film. Right? This Bob film might very well be the same. But you know why? Because the world will be the supporting cast, not us. If it was up to us alone, it may not go nowhere. Because the truth is, we'd rather it be our people on the screen doing all what they do, but it doesn't have the commercial success, and we bootleg the DVD and have it in our house like we did Shatters, like y'all did Third World Cop, right? Like y'all did Dancehall Queen. So you can bootleg it and say you have it on it, right? Or have it on some streaming site, some legal streaming site. But what it represents to have that movie in theaters. Remember, majority of this film was shot in Jamaica. There's investment made in different places in Jamaica to replicate some, places that Bob was. So money was spent in Jamaica to get this done, whether or not the cast is Jamaican, right? Money was spent. Now, this capsule encapsulates the life of Bob. So you're going to see some white people tonight because guess what? Not some white people, Bob turning a Bob. Them, right? 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 All right. So you're going to see a whole bunch of different people in there, right? But as long as the story gets told correctly, isn't that what it's about? As long as the actor is a good actor. Now, first of all, here's the thing about acting. Let's say the scale starts from 1 to 100. We already have this man at 75 because he's not Jamaican and we're chopping him off. We're already giving him a demerit based on the accent. Right? Not because he doesn't sound Jamaican enough, but because he is not Jamaican. And as far as we are concerned, any non-Jamaican actor, no matter how well they get the Jamaican accent down, if you are Jamaican, you will know the difference and you are going to criticize it. Right? You are going to criticize it. Now, here's the deal. If this, what you say, Ed, me could have played Jacob Miller, not true? Rasta can't live in a tenement. Leave me alone here. Leave me alone. Can you imagine if this movie comes out and hits majority of these movie theaters in the US, in Canada, Europe, the UK, the entire world, guess what's on that big screen? Jamaica, the beaches of Jamaica, the waterfalls of Jamaica, all the places where Jamaica that Bob was, right? The energy, the music, the festivities of Jamaica, all of that's captured on the big screen. And if it's in a 1,000 theaters, Jamaica is being represented on 1,000 screens. Hopefully for weeks upon weeks in theater, right? The other thing is this. You know how many people are going to dive into research, go listen some reggae music as a result of this film? You know how many are going to do that? You know how many people are going to go stream and go buy and stuff like that, reggae music as a result of this film? Many, 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 many. But if we were to ask for the analytics as to where these people are coming from, I'm willing to bet you that I don't know where most will come from. But I do know where the least is going to come from. Guess? Jamaica. Because the supporting is not what we're good at. The critiquing and the criticizing, that's our forte. Right? I'm a Jamaican, a proud one, love it. You understand? When I say proud and love it, I'm proud and I love it. All right? Richard said, Jamie Foxx as Ray was one of the best casting I've seen. Watch the film again last night. Absolutely. Trenchtown got a lot of money from this flick. Central Kingston too, where they created the stadium concert venue for the big concert. This will provide a major tourism investment for Jamaica International. Now, here's the thing. We talk about seeing like a dirty Rasta man and according to the powers that be up top, right? Who has probably, by his music and his presence and image, probably has brought more revenue to Jamaica than the Jamaican Tourist Board itself, right? Reggae music overall has done more for the income of Jamaica than any other resource. Reggae is our only infinite resource. Nothing else will last forever. All water we are run out of, right? And when we not run out of, we selling, right? So, the music is the only infinite resource that we have. And this man, years and years and years and years after his death, is about to, with the help of his family, whomever the investors are behind this film, the production, the directors, the cast, this man, with the support of all those people, are about to do for Jamaica in his posthumously, right? Post-death, more than all of your politicians put together in Jamaica right now, dead and alive, in terms of bringing eyes to Jamaica when this film goes on the big screen. When this film comes out in January of 2024, Bob will again do so much more for the country of Jamaica in terms of tourism and exposure than your prime minister has done in his tenure, than the minister of tourism has done, than every single solitary person affiliated politically with the country of Jamaica, the island of Jamaica, have done, dead and alive, probably cumulatively. Right? So, and at the end of the day, I said Jamaica, but I'm talking about the diaspora too, because believe me, when our people move from Jamaica and they no longer live on the shores, they still take the critical vibe that they have with them, right? So believe me, the diaspora is critiquing it too. Even though the diaspora will probably invest in it more than Jamaicans at home. But the reality of it is this. This movie is something that Jamaica needs. And to be perfectly honest with you, if I was behind it for calculated reasons, I'd have done the same thing in terms of the casting. Like I said, nobody criticizes, nobody says a word about Lashana because of the Jamaican thing. I know how we love the Jamaican connection. I'm like, yeah, man, she's Jamaican, whatever the case may be. So we ain't got nothing to say, right? We don't say her locks look fake, right? Come from the same place where female locks come from, you know what I mean? But because he's not Jamaican, we do what Jamaicans do, right? Take another comment here and see what go on. Dante, what go on? Dante said, going straight patois would have narrowed the viewership, hence a devastating blow to the box office. Absolutely. Garrett said, talk short. You know what I mean? Hot phone. All right. The number. What the number? Garrett, just come up on my number. The number is up in the thing there. Listen, I don't want to lie to you and act like I know the phone number off the top of my head for calling to the studio. So just call my number. Just call my number. Marlon said, hold on. Imagine where the Jamaican music industry would have been if we supported it financially like we do verbally. Jano, Marlon, I flog them. Flog them. That's what you do. Joanna said, when we say Jamaica, it's not only people living in Jamaica. Jamaicans all over the world do not support. I feel you on that. Though the ones across the globe do support more than the ones at home. Light-skinned guys are back to... You see it now? You see it, man, the light skin. It's all right. Wait till the Ninja Man Bioflick come out and the Shabba Bioflick come out. You know, easy, you know. Great point, John and Marlon, by Dante. Listen, it is what it is. Garrity, if you're still on, hold on, you know what? I'm not sure what's going on. We can't have any.
I say you're never gonna get me down. Mine is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take.
Call you live.
Yeah, man, what the hell, man? How you stay?
Wonderful, no, brother. May I get ready for watch a movie, January 2024. You stay. You have your ticket? Talk to me.
Let me tell you, the first time when I saw the trailer, I think I had the same feeling that you had, like, you know, to say is a whole heap of optics, whole heap of sound bites, sound music, right? It's almost like play like 3 songs, right? It was like a minute and a half into each song. Yep. And I was wondering, why was that? And that's probably because of the accent thing. But, you know, for me, I think people have a problem with it, that they're majoring in the minors in this situation. And I remember in high school, me that do geography. And we came up on a topic, and the teacher said, we have to think local and act global, right? So the local part of it is that it's a Jamaican Bob Marley film, right? Story about Bob Marley. But the global part is the pieces that fit into it. So with the actor, you know, it's a very accomplished actor, so you can't really take that from him. I'm not worried about if him accent sound Jamaican or not. Because the thing is, you have to get people to understand it, right? And this is why some restaurants are better than others. Some restaurants corner themselves because they want to taste a certain way, and it only fit a certain market. While another restaurant that don't sell good food, I'm not calling a name, have very bland food, but enough more people buy from them.
Which place you talking about?
You know, so you have to create a product that is going to be appealing to the masses.
Right.
You know, because you're not going to please everybody. Because if you try to please everybody, you're not going to please anyone. Right? So I applaud the people who went ahead with this project, you know, because by the point you made just now, that film, that product, Jamaica, is going to be seen by many people, and they're going to sit there for 90 minutes, however long the movie is, and they're going to experience that level of Jamaicanness. You know, think about how many songs recently have been, their careers have been revived. Because of a commercial. Because they a little piece I'd play in one Netflix
on Corona commercial.
Yeah. You know, the likes of Jimmy Cliff, Don Penn, even Cabra. Cabra was in a commercial one time with like a fire truck. And it was after that, like the song blow up again. So we have to look bigger than that, people. So may I say.
I appreciate it, brother. But and again, just like we all say apparently, and this is the part of it that is really really crazy is that none of the feedback that's loud out there is surprising to any of us. Unfortunately, when these things happen, we can never say, "Lord God, me can't believe it," because we're more expecting that than we're expecting them for people to look at the other way. And our people are not stupid. They know about the financial benefits of it. They know about all of the rewards that can come. But it's all of that is trumped by what I call the faux patriotism. Because if it's patriotism, if you're patriotic about the nation but won't spend $1 for the nation, then is it really true patriotism? If you're patriotic about the nation but won't put your hand in the soil to help and build the nation, then is it true patriotism? I just think that, unfortunately, we have a sense of entitlement like no other. You know what I mean? And our 2 cents is really 50 cents we are trying to get another thing. You know what I mean? And again, no matter how we slice it and dice it right now, there are people who are going to end up saying, you know what, them right. But still, you understand? Because that's just what we do. And at the end of the day, simple math boils down to this. If they made this film appeasing and appealing to the entire nation of Jamaica, and every single Jamaican went and saw the film, it still would not add up to what the international market space is. You understand? So at the end of the day, nobody in the background is going to sit down and gamble on it and actually try to alienate the biggest part of the marketplace. And that big marketplace is not just about people on the outside. They are also the people who are buying the records, because the people who are trying to cater to the name by the record, them need that. So they are the ones that are critiquing right about now. Just so the thing go. My brother, I give thanks here, man. Make sure you go watch a movie, because I know me say you bootleg the thing like how you bootleg shutters. I tell people. You know what I mean?
You know, you're going to probably ask? You could ask them, though, G. Cole.
Yeah.
Ask them how much of them have a copy of the group Inner Circle album, any Inner Circle album.
Wow.
And that group is so worldwide known.
Wow. Facts. And I don't know if you were on when I said it, but 2 ladies that accosted me about the thing, and I listened to them. All I asked them was, do you own a Bob Marley album? And neither of them did. I didn't ask the people online because they can't lie to me from the comforts of their home. But I asked 2 ladies face to face who had a gripe with the situation, do you own any Bob Marley albums? And they don't. They never own none. But yet still entitled to their opinion. My brother, Jono.
All right, sir.
Give thanks in. Much respect. Oh no. It's almost my time to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll go to 2 more comments.
Trip that I love to take, and every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away.
Sir Richard says that disgrace that Jamaican thief and hypocritical politicians are unwilling to elevate Robert Nesta Marley to the status of national hero. I think is what you want to say. Perhaps that is because them can't get no kickback from the Marley family. Possibly. Highly likely. You know, it's not even to say that, and again, pure assumptions, but an assumption I am comfortable making. When it comes to that whole, which sounds like extortion, you might depend, well, if they're not getting the money, the man, he's earned it anyway. Yes, but they're still alive and extortion value is still there. They can still try to benefit from it and hold it over their heads and try to get some stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're absolutely correct and saying that's part of the reason why it not happened yet. You know what I mean? None of the current heroes on the roster has done for Jamaica, Mr. B says, what Marley has done. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Lyndon said, talk your truth, my brother. Listen, it's my time to get out of here. David I says, entitlement, seems everybody has that. You know what I mean? Ed Robinson says, yeah, no support them own stuff anyway. Again, when we think about it, when we think about it, you have to be real, Bob's success did not come courtesy of us, right? And when I say us, I mean majority of our people. If it was up to us alone, the legacy of Bob Marley, the music of Bob Marley, the strength of Bob Marley would not be the way it is. Not to knock our people and any indictment on our people and whatever the case may be, but we're just channeling it back to this situation right about now where from a 2-minute trailer, it's been so much uproar. And the uproar points in the same direction, the expected direction, where we're expected to go, which is the person playing Bob is not Jamaican. And to support the concept of him not being Jamaican, then they start nitpicking. Who not go for the accent? Go for the hair. Some people say him to look like Bob. But, I mean, listen. I had a guitar player and a bass player that people would say look like Bob Marley them, right? At the end of the day, if you are somewhat light-skinned, Rasta, with slim features, chances are you look like Bob in some way, shape, or form. If you're standing by yourself down the road, no. But if you happen to be standing next to the Marley brothers, yes. You know what I mean? If you are a light-skinned Jamaican with dreads, I'm not talking about peeling, I'm not talking about a light-skinned Jamaican with dreads, and you're skinny, statuesque a little bit, you know what I mean? And you stand up by yourself, no. But if you stand up next to the Marley brothers, somebody gonna think you one of them. I am just saying, right? I'm just saying. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta fix some of the madness in our culture, man. Jano. It's a Jamaica radio don't even play reggae that much. Whew, that's a whole different thing. Facts. Ladies and gentlemen, again, let's just be better human beings. Before we go on the beat down, see what we can do to support and uplift and bring up. And the reason why a lot of times when things like these happen, I don't like talking about them on public platforms because I don't like bringing light, or should I say, giving legs to anything that could be deemed negative toward the culture. However, the reason why I opted to do it is because I'd rather our dialogue dissuade somebody from putting something else up on social media that might have legs, and one other person will view, and one other person will view. And you know it, go already. We love share. Somebody could pass on WhatsApp, and then it goes around and it grows legs. So again, though I am not one to like to talk about certain things because I of the fear of whatever the backlash may be, I definitely also want to preempt the negative conversation. So we'll have the convo here, and hopefully some of what we spoke about will resonate. And might say, you know something, it don't mean something that's still bad mind. It don't mean something that's still entitled. It don't mean none of that. But what this guy was saying, probably right. Maybe I won't share this WhatsApp. Maybe I won't share this tweet or whatever, because we don't want to do anything to discourage one person, not even one person, from going to the theater and supporting this movie. Because I just based on a little trailer and based on the caliber of actors that are in there, the affiliation to the family, because most times when a picture comes out that's somewhat a biopic, a lot of times it doesn't have anything to do with the family, and the family always reputes what's going on in there. And there's always discrepancies because guess what? Everybody have an opinion, right? There's going to be things that play out in this film that somebody's going to say, a lie, no go so committed dede, right? You're going to have a lot of Bob Marley's granny, uncle, nephew, niece, sister, cousin, brother, wife, father, brother, lover, friend, mechanic, cook, plumber. That's going to have, no, so it go. No, I was there when they weren't there, no. Right? So at the end of the day, that's going to happen. But the bigger picture is, it is highlighting the culture, highlighting the nation, and it's going to be a boost for the economy, for the music industry, and guess what it's going to be a boost for? Something that's really lacking and really needs it. As much as we say we don't really exist, the Jamaican film industry will be affected by this, right? From the standpoint of, though there's not a lot of Jamaican actors playing lead roles in this, but people seeing the beauty and the terrain of Jamaica will start. I hope more people will start coming to Jamaica to shoot their film, right? And here's why I say I hope it helps the Jamaica film industry. We have rich Jamaicans too. There are billionaire Jamaicans too. I'm not talking about Jamaican dollars, right? Maybe they will now feel like they can invest in something like that. Because truth of the matter is this: none of our wealthy people, whether the money come by foul means or not, but the money is there, none of them were willing to invest in anything. You understand? None of them were willing to do so. So at the end of the day, I do hope that it will help the film industry, and I'm confident that it will, right? So I don't think most of the actors where we are sitting down and saying, them should I get it? I think if you spoke to those people, they're probably going to be excited for this film and what it can do for the film industry and how it can benefit them. You know what I'm saying? Ashton Barrett, he was not an actor. I mean, at the film, his acting credit is now there, legitimate. You can't say nothing about it. Beverly said, thank you for the conversation. I enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure to have you here. G. Cole, thank you so much, Joanna, for the birthday love. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Where you say I'm best a light skin with dreads? Guilty, not true. How much time them ask if you know, Bob? How much time? By yourself? No. Go stand up in the middle of Julian. Gang. Right? and Kimani, and bet you them think you're one of them too. Right? I bet. You've had it before, the truth. And worse you play guitar too, worse you sing too, reggae too. Nah man. Yeah, Bob Youth. In a business way you say. Yeah, Bob Youth. Fitzgerald, large of yourself. Listen, we got to get up out of here, man. Thank y'all so much. I wouldn't dare play anything during the show. Coming on them coat.
Oh my God, you know what I mean? Just wanna thank you. Peace of mind is a holiday.
This is yours truly, G. Cole.
It's a trip.
Peace of mind is a holiday. And that's what I'll stress to y'all. Peace of mind is a holiday. Let's think this way. No matter what the foolishness. Don't discredit the thing and it'll come out yet.
Peace of mind is a
I'm just saying, baby. I gotta go though.
that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey
Large about the radio, folks. Rubber Ranks, Wagwan fam.
away, peace of mind
Joy, thank you. Live Radio.
that I love to take.
Genius, what up?
That I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday.
I can do it now, you know what I mean? I can do it now. They can do anything now. Y'all know that's all I'm gonna give y'all before I get up out of here. I don't want them cut the thing, you know what I mean? Again, thank y'all so much for the love. I appreciate you. If you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast, Homegrown with G Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast, we are there. Please go and subscribe. Also, once you get off of here, many of you who are on Facebook, I know you all are on YouTube too. Do me a favor, hop on over to YouTube, go to the YouTube channel, Homegrown with G Cole, hit follow, right? Subscribe, whatever the thing said. Let's follow the thing. You know what I mean? We need to get them numbers up. Thank y'all so much. I know y'all also all on social media at MyGCole, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, right? Find me up on TikTok too. It's a new thing for me. I'm always late to the party, but I did come over, right? Y'all tell me if I come. Go follow me up on TikTok. All right? Everywhere you go. And guess what? Keep it on the low. All right? Got another song that's gonna be dropping soon. All right? Keep it on the low. Not telling nobody. You know what I mean? What you say? You have a picture in the middle of Julian and gang. See that? See, not true. Hey, Joanne. Not true, Ambessa. Yo, as a matter of fact, I have a picture. Believe it or not, I have a picture of you and Paul Anthony with them locks, and I guarantee you, I'm for that just put gang in the middle of that, and people gonna think of 3 Marley brothers in there. You know what I mean? You know how many people ask me if Paul Anthony related to Bob Marley? Remember Purpose used to play bass for everybody think about one of Bob Youth them. Remember Edward used to play guitar for us? Locks, light skin, Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? Bob, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get up out of here though, man. But thank you all so much for rocking. Again, let's just be optimistic. Let's keep our minds open. Let's be positive. Let's share the positivity. Every time you feel like hitting share or, you know what I mean, like or whatever from the negative, muster up the strength to not do so and find something positive to share. All right? So if you were going to share and say, yo, look what us up, baby, can't believe the man not even look like Bob. How about you share it and say, I'm going to go check this movie out when it comes out. You check it out too. Let's dialogue after the movie. Try that route. All right? Not everybody's supposed to look like. Let me tell you something. Man, I'm going to just leave you like this. When my biopic is coming out, when my biopic will come out, right? Look for me right now. See me? When my biopic come out right about now. If it was to come out today, you think say they can't have Al Anthony Anderson or one of them were more likely Faison Love play me? Nah. Tyrese, one of them. Idris, one of them. You know what I mean? Gotta play me. People be like, but I don't get the correlation, G. Them dudes is cut. I don't care. I cast. All right? I cast. You understand me? Sexual chocolate, baby. That's what we're working with. I got to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Thank y'all for the love. Keep it moving. Keep it grooving. It is Homegrown.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.